Wonder Woman issue 13, Brian Azzarello writing with Tony Akins on the art. Obviously, the last time we had the Zero issue, so this is actually back to the main, timeline, the main continuity here. And yeah, it's kind of reeling from the events of the baby being taken. Zola's not in a great mood. She basically tries to strangle Hera a couple of times. Actually, there's a reference here to the Ice Cream Cone. When did the Ice Cream Cone thing start?
I want to say it was Gail Simone's stuff.
Was
I
it?
could be wrong.
Okay.
It feels like a Gail Simone thing, doesn't it?
For some reason, I thought it was later than this, so I was actually surprised when she walked in. There was like an ice cream cone joke. I was like, "Oh wait, that already happened." Okay.
Yeah, it feels like a Gail Simone thing to me, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's odd. No wait, actually no, I'm not. I wouldn't. No, I knew it already happened because it's in the Wonder Woman animated movie, which was like 2009. So I knew it was from before then. Yeah. Okay. Ignore my comment. I'll erase it from the timeline. I'll edit it, but not really. So. Yes, we have this old god, the firstborn, shows up and bites a dude's head off.
Honestly, it's like a 3-ish page prologue, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I love this prologue. I think this is the art at its best in the book.
It's very
for Aiken stuff.
It's very The Thing-esque because of the setting.
It is. I think the coloring shines. Just the way the headlights from the trucks kind of glows against the snow. Looks fantastic.
Yeah.
And then this guy, when he does bite the head off, it looks really do you know what the line work specifically, it reminds me of Walking Dead.
Okay, all right, sure.
If you look at that panel of him biting, the scratchy line work but still kind of clean, really reminds me of that.
Okay, yeah, I can see it. What I think was interesting about this prologue scene is it doesn't actually come back up or is referenced in any way in the rest of the issue. So clearly it's a prologue for the arc rather than this issue itself, which is fine, which is totally fine. But it was one of the things where we'd read these a little bit a while ago and we didn't get a chance to record yet, so I was skimming through the books we're going to be recording tonight, and I was skimming this and went, oh yeah, this like 3-page scene, when did this come back up? And it never did. I was like, oh yeah, that's probably why I completely forgot about it, because it was such a standalone little thing.
It is. It's standalone, but personally I thought it was a very interesting little sequence.
I mean, I enjoyed it on its own terms, just because it was kind of like, oh, who's this? Horror movie, monster stuff. Interesting. Yeah. Then you get all the gods and whatnot gathering, Apollo on his throne, and I say throne, I really mean by the pool, as they're debating what to do, basically being worried about the prophecy, and well, we're not all the children of Zeus. Wonder Woman's beat up some of us a few times here, so something that they're obviously going to be plotting and scheming with. Alternatively, we go back to Wonder Woman, who's with everyone else, and they're kind of debating what to do about everything. She wants help again from the other bastard children of Zeus.
Yeah, Lennox is like, hey, you're the 7th, I think, from you're the 7th that has been revealed in the 20th century.
Yes, five of which are still alive.
Yes, I think that's including her, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I assume it is anyway.
Yeah, me too. And then there's 1, maybe 2 that can help. So, yeah, not the best odds.
Yeah. So basically, she's going to go look for Soraka because she wants to know where she is, and that leads us to Libya. The Libyans. That's my Back to the Future reference. You can enjoy that. I do like her entrance in here, where she's walking towards some soldiers and she's in a cloak. I like the
tosses the cloak open.
Yeah, the pacing of the entrance is very nice. She runs into a kid though who's hiding in a barrel, and she decides to protect the kid. But the kid's got some information for her and says, "Oh, where's everyone in the town?" She says, "Oh, they all go and hide in this like bunker, this like tomb that's like up at the edge of town. Whenever there's danger." So she takes her to this tomb and they go inside, but it slams shut, and there's traps. Some daggers and blades and knives all fly towards them. Wonder Woman protects the kid, but then looks down and sees a sword right through the kid's heart. But then the kid just sort of crumbles to sand, and then it turns out the kid was all along Soraka, sorry. And we get this final full page spread of the real Soraka kind of strangling her. So clearly not friendly at a first glance. First meeting is not going well.
There was a little bit of a test where, okay, Wonder Woman says to the child, "Hey, I'll protect you," and then ultimately fails to. You know, she tries, don't get me wrong, but there are a lot of knives coming flying at them, and knives is underselling it a little bit, I think. So when one does, you know, catch the child, it's not like it's a huge surprise, and I think just for a moment, it's actually really devastating. Like, oh, she failed, right? And this child was stabbed through the chest with a sword. Yeah, it's pretty dark. I mean, even, you know, given the context, it's less dark, but it's still a really dark image.
Unfortunately, Wonder Woman's face might be some of the worst art in the book in that panel.
I agree, which is unfortunate. Do you know what I really like in terms of the art in this book? It's Wonder Woman in the civvies, in the hotel room and stuff with the others. I really like how she's drawn there. Like, she's just bigger than everyone else. Like, yeah. Not in an awkward way. She just feels like she's got a presence.
Her face in the panel underneath where the child's actually crumbling to sand is a lot better. It's not necessarily a great by any means, but it functions. It serves the function as what it's supposed to be doing. But that panel where you first see the kid being stabbed before you realize it's sand, and it's been a trick of some sort. She looks. Her face is just.
It's hard to put your finger on it, isn't it? It's just not quite right.
The proportions just aren't there, or it makes her chin look really bulky. Her jawline looks huge.
It's very. I think it's very a round chin.
But even her head, her hair feels too tall as well. Like just everything about it feels off. It feels like a.
Yeah.
This is a really insulting to say about professional artist piece of work, and I don't mean it as harsh as it sounds. But it's kind of like when if one of us or a kid tries to draw something, and the first time you go at it, it's like, oh, the proportions are still wrong. Now the head looks really tall because the back of it, which is supposed to look like it's slanting back the way because it's meant to be like perspective. Instead, it just looks like it's tall. That's what it looks like.
It's not terrible. I think we should point out on the grand scheme of things, this face, while not good and one of the weakest moments in the book, still isn't like terrible. It's just unfortunate that such an important moment in the book has one of the weakest elements of the art. Yeah.
So that's basically the issue, though. She's going to recruit some help and is caught in the midst of a fight instead. Maybe she'll still convince her next issue. I mean, we'll find out.
Yeah, maybe. If not, there's maybe another kid of Zeus they can try. I'm intrigued how you found this, because this is, well, it's technically a new arc. There is, and some stuff feels like it's the new arc. There is definitely a lot of follow through straight from what we had before with all the gods and stuff. Did any of this do enough to start reeling you back in a little bit?
It's kind of a tough thing because there's a point where the general feeling of everything's just kind of in a lukewarm place where ultimately, like, all the stuff with the gods meeting, for the most part, I'm kind of just whatever on. Like, that was definitely the part of the book where I'm just kind of
which admittedly is only like 3 pages in the entire book.
I just kind of sleepwalk through it a little bit because I'm just not super into these versions of these characters. I mean, Wonder Woman's quest on its own is fine, and there's some good moments in the art and the pacing for the other stuff. But I mean, I wouldn't say it's not a bad issue. It's a enjoyable enough issue in a run that I'm not really connecting with.
Yeah,
I guess is what I would say. What are you rating it?
I'm gonna give it an 8. I think it's a really strong kind of comeback to the main run after the Zero issue. Does a lot to move things forward in an interesting way, and some really good art and pacing in points, but it is held back in other areas, like some of the key moments that we discussed. So that's why it can't be any higher than the 8.
For me, probably 6.5, I think.
Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable for the the way you talked about it.
Yeah, no, I don't really have any great like way of summing up why. That's what it feels like. Was it a 6.5? Yeah. There we go.